Right, Tacitus chapter 32. Galba's trapped in the palace and he's about to get conflicting advice from his spads, his special advisors, as to what to do. We start with the scene outside the palace. Universa jam plebs, absolutely the whole population, the whole plebs were now filling the Palatine Hill as opposed to the palace. Mixti servitiis, slaves amongst them. So this is almost like a motorway accident where people slow down to watch. This is mass voyeurism. But the people haven't yet made their mind up who to support. If it looks as though Galba may survive, they'll chant for Galba. As soon as that changes, they'll chant for the opposite. It's no good thing at all, of course, that even slaves feel liberated enough to voice their opinions, to watch history unfolding before them. This is a worrying sign, certainly nothing that Tacitus would approve of. Et dissono clamore, and with confused shouting. This just adds to the sense of disorder, really. There is disorder in that the slaves and ordinary people are rubbing shoulders, higgledy-piggledy, and then there's the dissono clamore as well. There was the dissonant shouting poscentium of people shouting for, demanding the caedem Othonis et coniuratorum exitium, the slaughter of Otho and the end to the conspirators. Caedem, very, very plosive, vicious word. And of course these people are in the Circus Maximus. They're in the Colosseum. They're demanding entertainment. As I said, it's like an accident on the motorway, an accident in the Circus Maximus with the chariot races. It's the poor victims of the crowd's lust in the Colosseum. That's what's going on here, as Tacitus amplifies in a second. And see in Circo aut teatro, as if they were demanding postulorent some entertainment, aliquod ludicrum. The word ludicrous is connected to ludus. It's to do with the games, it's to do with sport, it's to do with theatre. In Circo aut teatro. Neque illis judicium aut veritas. Nor amongst these people was there good judgment or veritas, honesty. To be sure, quippe, eodem die, on the very same day, postulatoris, future participle agreeing with illis, they would be demanding diversa, the opposite, contrary things, pari certamine, with equal enthusiasm. And then he adds, to continue the cynicism actually, because his cynical attitude to the plebs constitutes most of this paragraph. Then he says, in the traditional custom, they would demand the opposite in the traditional custom of adulating, adulandi, gerund, of adulating the whoever was the emperor, whatever emperor it was, licentia ad clamationum et studiis in arnibus, with licentia, with excessive acclamation, approbation, approval, and with empty enthusiasm, because it's shallow, it means nothing. They'd cheer anyone as long as he was emperor. So you've got their bit of variatio there. You've got licentia, ablative noun, ad clamationum, dependent genitive, et studiis in arnibus, just a simple noun-adjective agreement there. Licentia suggests too much freedom. I think for people like Tacitus, who's quite conservative, any freedom is too much freedom. And they're adulandi, notice that word as well. Adulation is something that Romans shouldn't be guilty of, maybe foreigners worshipping their caliphs, worshipping their cruel rulers, but not something that should be happening at Rome. There should be respect, not adulation. There is no respect, of course, because these emperors are, by and large, inadequates, freaks, from a freak show, not really from the annals of Rome's previously great history. Anyway, so that's the mob's behaviour, and Tacitus sneers at them. He finds them appalling. And then in Galba, in the second paragraph, Galba gets some stick now. Meanwhile, Galban, we're used to Galban being accusative. He's just passive, and he's at the behest of others. Meanwhile, duae sententiae, two opinions were tearing Galba in two. Titus Vinius, manendum intra domum, opponenda servitia, firmandos aditus, non eundum ad iratos kenzebat. There's the verb kenzebat. Titus Vinius was opining, and he was opining very forcefully with gerunds and gerundivs. Okay, so that he should stay within the palace, that slaves should be set to oppose anybody trying to get in. The entrances should be shored up, consolidated, and Galba, non eundum, should not go out to an angry mob. They may, of course, they were impassioned, they were angry, and I think Titus Vinius, for whatever reason, because of course Titus Vinius might be a traitor, he may well be working for the other side. He may want Galba to be a sitting duck in the palace. That we don't know, we can't tell. But anyway, he certainly argues very forcefully with his gerunds and gerundivs. Don't go out to these angry people, because their mood could change in a moment, as in, of course it will. And then he continues his advice via jussive subjunctives, because these are imperatives in reported speech. Let him give spatium. That's the key word there. Let him give space and for penitence of evildoers. Okay, I know that doesn't make sense. Let him give time for those intent on doing wrong to regret their actions and come to their good senses. Daret. And there's a nice antithesis here between malorum and bonorum. Let him give time for the decent people, consensui, to come to some sort of agreement, consensus, as to what the right thing to do would be, and that would be no doubt to stick with Galba, support Galba, see off this threat from Otho. Scelera impetu bona consilia mora valescere. So notice then a second antithesis. This is wonderfully put. This is very cogent advice because it's so rhetorically forceful, I would say. And he says, Scelera, awful things, crimes, criminality, valescere. He said that, and this, we're back to accusative infinitive now. He said that crimes drew strength from hasty action, impetu. If you're going to do it, just do it straight away. Don't think about it, just get it done and do it terribly. But bona consilia, he says. Bona. And I think, notice the urgency of his advice is helped by the asyndeton here, with daret and daret, and then scelera, concilia. There's no connection. It's punchy. It's short. Good sense grows strength. Good ideas grow strength from mora, from delay, from thinking about them carefully, and then only then acting. Finally, the end of his advice, and this is difficult Latin. He said, the facultatem eundi. Finally, he said, the same chance, eandem facultatem, the same chance of going forth from the palace ultro, voluntarily, si ratio sit, if there were any reason in doing this at all, the same chance of going forth from the palace would still remain in a few hours' time. That's what he's saying. But, again, asyndeton, but regressum, but an opportunity to return, but a return, si paeniteat, present subjunctive, a return if his going forth became a regret, in aliena potestate, would be, I don't know why this keyboard's getting in the way, and I don't know what that is. Oh yes, that's a reminder that I'm teaching you. In aliena potestate, any return, if he regretted going forth, would depend on others, would be in the power of others. Right, so that is Tacitus 32 in a nutshell.